Well, boys and girls, it's when I feel like 8 o'clock again. It's just before I'm heading off to Pilates. And it's the day after the well-lubed Twister game that we did yesterday. And I have some sad news. Um, Hilda Gordonbrink unfortunately has a lower body injury. She's from the Morinville Moist Bottoms. And there's a kind of investigation going in because Gertrude Landburner might have had some involvement from the Lumineers forward. But to me, it looked fairly incidental, accidental. She was just trying a spinning heel on blue move, and it just looked like an accident to me. But we'll see. We're gonna go to the judges on that. There'll be a bit of a hearing, and we'll see how that all works out. But besides that, the event went well, and if you're interested in participating in the well-lubed events that we do for Twister, go to my YouTube channel at My NHL Pearls of Wisdom to get more insight into all of this. If you've never, I've actually been told by people that there's people that haven't even heard of or been part of Twister, which is, I don't know. I just find that very hard to believe. But if you are, it's a wonderful sport and our game, and we'd love to have you. And like I said, learn more at My NHL Pearls of Wisdom on YouTube. Well, we are off to the Tampa Bay Lightning today, and I have been perusing the roster of the Tampa Bay Lightning, thinking to myself that what they definitely need to do, in fact, in my first video, which I'm sure you've seen, if you go back into your study books, you would note that I was saying that they should trade Coburn and Garrison. However, I had a bit of a oversight. They have NTCs, both of them. And this is kind of tough for me because Stevie Y, to me, can do no wrong. He is the greatest man on the planet. He is my favorite human being male that there is, and these contracts are not too good. I'm sure it wasn't his fault. There must have been somebody in the organization that made this decision when he wasn't looking. There's no way. I hope he's able to talk one or both of them into waiving these contracts. I know he will for sure be able to do so with Garrison's contract for the expansion draft, because nobody's going to touch that. And as it is right now, if they were to stay that way, they would have to protect both of them, and of course Hedman, and you're going to lose Strollman, and I know that ain't going to happen. So I'm sure he'll get one of them to waive for that. But now that leaves us to the trade deadline, which we are doing right now. Trade deadline special. Yeah. Anyways, what he's going to do at the trade deadline, these guys had injuries like crazy. It's not that you have a bad team. You still could make the playoffs, but it looks like Stevie Y, when getting rid of Nesterov, is going to kind of par down the roster and try to get rid of some salary, which is actually desperately needed. One of the things I hope he's able to do is talk either Garrison or Coburn into waiving their NTCs, because those contracts are weighing you down a lot. A guy I can likely see going somewhere, and it's too bad because he's under appreciated in most circles, is Filppula. Filppula's contract's fairly high, but I think there's likely some good general managers out there that are paying attention that would be willing to take on that contract if they have the room to do so. He is a good second line center and does not get power play time, but still puts up points. His I don't know what it is, his 5-on-5 per 60 is, but it's fairly high. And I think if you put him in a situation where he could have more of a role, he would be a very effective player, especially in the playoffs. A team like Montreal might want to look at him if they can find the space. If they can stop giving contracts like they did to Shaw, that would be a place. Carolina, maybe, although they're kind of set in the middle right now, but he would definitely be an improvement over Teravainen even, and he can play a third line role. I'm sure there's other places where he would definitely have interest, and I think that's something that Stevie Y will be looking at this year. You've got Point and Johnson there. The other thing that he could do is look at trading Johnson, getting some picks and maybe some young defensemen from him, because that's something they need in their organization. The defensemen they have coming up right now that I'm aware of, and you can tell me in the comments below, if is Kukuk and I love that name, by the way, Kukuk, and what's that other one? Oh, Witowski. And neither one of them are really what you would call puck movers. They need some sort of puck movers in coming up. Their defense and possession game is starting to slide quite a bit. If you can get rid of Callahan's contract, go do it. Again, that couldn't have been Stevie Y that did that, right? That's an ugly contract. He's got some ugly contracts to get rid of, and if anybody can do it, it's Stevie Y, and I sure hope he does. For the sake of the Tampa Bay Lightning fans, who, by the way, are excellent. They don't get enough credit. They fill that building quite a bit considering they're in Florida, and it's growing. And from the people I talk to, I have some on Facebook pages and stuff like that. They are becoming more and more knowledgeable of the game. They are not shy to let me know where I've gone wrong and made mistakes where I did these videos, which are a lot. Like, for instance, I just did a New York Rangers video, and I still said Sather was the general manager, which he is not, and somebody very politely informed me of that. You know how they do that in New York. Anyways, I think I've given you my full 42. I don't know how much I helped you here and what to do. I think Filppula will probably be traded, and because they need to keep Killorn, and for sure they have to keep Killorn. They have other contracts that are coming up that they have to pay for, and I don't think Filppula is going to be able to. They're going to be able to keep him in the fray, unfortunately. So that's what I kind of think they're going to do in the trade deadline. Come draft time, I think you're going to see a lot of movement from them as well, if they can possibly do it. They're going to stock up draft picks, and then next year, without the injuries, I'm sure they'll make the playoffs, and then they'll even be more set to have a long-standing tradition of making the playoffs, almost like Detroit did. That's my full 42, everyone. Have a great day. Lots of love to you.